What up, y'all, and welcome to the Brickyard, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Here today for the 28th race in the 2022 NRSL Digital Storm Cup Series. On pole for the 5th time this season is your points leader, Jonathan Zoerlein. It's his 9th career pole, moving him up to 4th on the all-time list. Next to him is the most recent winner, 3-time winner now on the season, his teammate, in the 9, Nate Rogers. So a Hendrick front row here at a track Chevy has won at 4 times in 5 races. 48 laps of action on tap today, likely a 2-stop race with the fuel window looking at a 16 to 18 lap range. And I'm joined in the booth by my man Vince Freeze. We don't have much left. Vince, what's poppin'?
This is the Brickyard, baby. It's Indianapolis. It's one of the most historic tracks in the world, if not the world, in my opinion. You want to win here, and we have our title protagonist, Jonathan Zoerlein, on pole, and our challenger at the back. If Zoerlein can do what he does, stay consistent top 10, maybe get a win today, could be a sealer today here in the Indy Heat.
We'll get more to that scenario here in a minute. Zoerlein won this race last year. Row 2, you got Allison Rain, who won here in 2019. Next to her is Samet Oskin. Row 3, Dylan Young and Alex Ferranti, who's been tearing it up a little bit as of late. Row 4, Kev Shearer and Jessica Shelton. And in row 5, Quinton Moore and Andrew Rich. Going to go through the rest of the starting lineup as Vince goes over our past winners and the drivers that failed to make the race.
Yeah, we got Flickinger, Brent James, Priya McShane, Christian Russell, Roy Ribbleton, Logan Williams, Lane Sanders, Blaine Saylor, Jason Dagger, and Christian Vargas all missing. And our past winners start with 2017 James Shelley in a Chevy. That's a tongue twister in the 27, as I said. In 18, Cole Deaver got done as a rookie in a Chevy. 2019 Allison Rain in the 7 in the Chevy. Alex Rowe in 2020. We've held off Rain. That was a good finish. And then Jonathan Zoerlein in 2021. Looking to go back-to-back this year and possibly clinch that championship, as we'll get later into the race about that. Like Zach said, 2 stops, and Indianapolis is all about track position and a little bit of draft. Do you have a draft set up with a trim down on the straights, or do you use the cornering and handling of your machine today to get time? We'll find out.
And as you mentioned, from the back, Charles Sanford really missing the setup in qualifying, starting in last place here this afternoon. You see Alexander Rowe starting in 29th place. Keith Rich also here in the back as we'll go trackside for the command to fire engines.
Are you ready? Gentlemen, start your engines! Arno.
All right, let's take a look at these point standings. Coming into this race, Zoerlein with a 101-point lead over Charles Sanford, 129 over Nate Rogers, 131 over Seth Cole, and 159 over Andrew Rich. Those are the only drivers in contention for the title. Entering this race, you needed to be 177 points back. Leaving this race, you need to be 118 points back, which means we could see Nate Rogers, Seth Cole, and Andrew Rich fall out of contention. And if Charles Sanford finishes far enough behind Zoerlein, depending where Zoerlein finishes, Zoerlein might just lock up this championship here today. That would be the first time someone has locked up the title 2 races early in what is our inaugural season for the Cup Series using a full season championship. But 48 lap race here today, long race. We head to Springfield next week and then Chicagoland, which is set to be a long race as well, being it the 200th race in Cup Series history.
Yeah, man, this is Indy. Anticipation is building. There's nothing like it. To go down into 3 and 4 here in this short shoe coming up.
All right. So Vince, tell me, if it's the window 16 to 18, it's a 48 lap race. Do you want to undercut the whole race or do you want to stretch it?
Give me lap 17, split the difference. I just don't think stretching would work. And tire fall off, I don't know if we discussed that, but usually around Indy, tire fall off does matter. You want to come out in a clean pit road, and I definitely think a clean pit entry will help here. Draft's important, but not important if we were the truck series, so that's my thoughts on that.
Yes, indeed. As always, tracks like this with the Truck Series, if you overcut, you're usually pretty set if you're the first or second driver in the pit road because the draft takes care of the rest. But here in the Cup Series, draft is not as important. Pace car down pit road. 42 drivers, packed stands here at Indianapolis. Overcast day. Green flag is out, and we are underway in Indianapolis. See speeds of 180 through the corners here on fresh tires. Down the back straightaway, we'll get to speeds over 200 miles an hour as Rain looks for a move for the race lead. Almost 210 into turn 3.
Rolling with a good outside run that you can see the power of that Chevy on that Ford Triumph. But Dylan Young, he was a surprise. We talked about him in qualifying many times, having that one-lap flyer pace, but the race pace he fades. Is that a change today? We'll find out.
See, in the top 7 single file. One thing you're going to notice with this track, if you haven't seen a race here before, is that turns 1 and 2 is where you want to make your pass on the inside line. Turn 3 and 4 tend to be more outside line favored. The top 7 have started to draft away from the rest of the field. Oskin going to put a move on Nate Rogers for 4th. You see Rain running a bit of a higher line through 3.
We talked about the rabbit and the bunny scenario all the time, rabbit and mouse. As you see, Oskin's trying to lean in on the inside. Kev Shear.
Oskin about wrecked him there, man. He was leaning into him. That was dicey for a second. Rain to the inside of Zoerlein there. You see the outside line gets a little tight through turn 1. Zoerlein, though, holding strong there. But Rain will complete the pass.
Yeah, Rain is always good in the speedway. Definitely look out for her there. Audra's a surprise, though. But is he? We'll find out later.
Audra in 8th. Seth Cole 9th. Flickinger, Papyrus race winner, in 10th. So they've started to single file it out really quickly here. So now everyone is chasing Allison Rain.
Flat up my shot.
See, pretty packed up at the back of the field. So let's see who we've got at the back. We'll go from a back to the front movement here. Colt Hudson, Peter Onjak, Henry Sanford, Owen Miles, Bradley Ream, Vince Fries, Keith Rich. We mentioned the poor qualifying effort. So you see Charles Sanford already making his way forward up to 33rd. And he's just got to stay glued to this inside line. Turn 1 will take care of the rest. And you can see actually pushing by Jack Holton there through turn 3 and 4. Holton is making his first Cup start in what I want to say is like a couple of months. He's had pretty bad luck in go or go home. Finally making another Cup start, but you can see he is going backwards. Almost contact there between Chung and Cologne. But Sanford moving forward. He is up to 30th. Alexander Roback here struggling to move forward himself. Just outside the top 20 is Jesse Turner. Logan York inside the top 20 with William Brock. Cole Deaver, who got his second career win here back in 2018. He held off Andrew Rich to get that one done. Trey Smith having a pretty good day so far. He's in 17th. There's Andrew Rich in 15th. Diego Yepes showing some good speed here in 13th. Seth Cole has fallen out of the top 10. Looks like Shelton and Flickinger got by him there, but he passes Shelton right on back. Now Ferranti will go by for 11th. Seen Kev Shear down in 7th. He has started to fade away from the front runners, as has Quinton Moore. So everybody is still chasing Allison Rain. So the big thing here with these conditions, Vince, as we've always seen, is if you're leading, the leader tends to be the first one to pit if they lead the entire run. So I think we could see Rain and Zoerlein be the first to pit. The draft will take care of saving a little fuel for those behind them. And with this pit road, you know, you want to be first 2 or 3 cars of your group down, as we've got a caution on the racetrack.
That's rare. I don't. Oh, maybe someone at the back. We'll find out.
So caution's out. I'd expect everyone to pit here for 4 tires. It's going to be with 41 to go, which is going to put them right on the edge of the window. So if we go green from this race restart, it could be close. But let's take a look and see what brought out the caution. All right, we're going to start from a faraway angle here. This is going to begin between Shelton and Tringali. Shelton's clear going into the corner, and Tringali sends it in there. Shelton comes down into the 7. Contact is made. They're going to get the grass there. 7's going to be the first to get spun around, and the Shelton gets sent up with him. Into the outside wall they go. Tringali's going to flip over. Trey Smith had nowhere to go. And then it's on from here. Track is blocked off of turn 4. You see Deaver, Brock, Logan York, Turner, RJ Bishop all going to get involved. 7 is up in the air. Then Logan York gets creamed by Levi McIntyre. There's Derek Hamill getting involved. Charles Sanford nowhere to go. Up and over goes the 99 into the air. And it's just on from here. You see Turner going into the pit wall there. Hamill's getting spun around. Keith Rich is around. Bradley Ream is around. And right here, they just kind of accordion into the pit wall. And look at Keith Rich and Cole Evers' cars get sent bouncing towards the inside wall. You can just see still people hitting each other. Peter Onjack. This was a nasty, nasty crash. Smoke kind of hit our vision there a little bit. Let's see if we can back this up. Get another view of this. Perhaps TV1 camera can show us what happened to Keith Rich. It's just, no, it's still a smoke screen here. Looks like maybe Hamill was in the way. They just all started bouncing in. Fogelman's going to get in the wall. Vince Freeze nowhere to go. Man, this was just awful. This might be the worst wreck we've seen all year. I'm trying to think of what we would have had that was worse than this. And Pensacola was a tame race. I don't know. Did we have anything crazy in the 500?
Big Zoerlein flip.
I think he got clobbered, but I don't think he flipped.
So, yeah, that was like the only thing I could think of.
But that was a single car heavy impact. This was big junk. Charles Sanford, everybody. This is going to end his chances by far unless something happens to Zoerlein here right away that causes the 5 to retire. But tough break for Charles, man. He's had the bad, inconsistent luck all year long. We're going to take some onboards with this one. This was a big wreck. On board with Nico Tringali. My goodness gracious. On board with Charles Sanford. There was just no way you were going to get through this one. On board with Keith Rich. Tough break for Keith. Last on board is with Levi McIntyre. Tough end to his day. Let's get you guys to the race restart. Issues on pit road. Zoerlein gets into the back of Allison Rain as Rain turns into her pit stall. Now, that's not a ton of damage, but that's going to affect the 5 aerodynamically down the straightaways. And that could be a little bit of a good sign for Sanford. Might have a chance still at this thing after all. A slim chance maybe at that, but this is a bigger chance for drivers like Nate Rogers and Andrew Rich, who need to gain a ton of points here, but this is not what Zoerlein needed at all. Just like with Papyrus, pit road contact here is going to hurt his race. Getting ready to go back racing. Out of the race, Keith Rich, Levi McIntyre, Jesse Turner, Logan York, Cole Deaver, Nico Tringali, Derek Hamill, Trey Smith, William Brock, Bradley Ream, Charles Sanford, and Jessica Shelton. Sanford will finish 32nd. That will get him 11 points on the day. For him to survive and still be at a chance due to the win difference between him and Zoerlein, Zoerlein can finish no better than 16th. We'll have to see how far down the running order that hood damage relegates the 5. Allison Rain is still the race leader after pit road. Dylan Young 2nd, Zoerlein 3rd, Quinton Moore 4th, Nate Rogers 5th, Oskin, Sackflickinger, Baranowskis, Yepes, and Seth Cole the top 10. That Zoerlein damage is also good news for Nate, Seth, and Andrew. Nate and Seth have a better shot at getting within 2 race range than the 23. Andrew really needs to get his move on into the top 5. Green flag is back out. We have 39 laps to go, and we believe everyone will still have to pit 2 times. As there it was, Vince, instantly on the green as Dylan Young goes to the inside of Rain to take the race lead, but you saw Zoerlein get shuffled to the outside instantly. You can see everyone is just passing that 5 car, Vince. This is not what he needed at all today.
I still think he's good. But if you're Nate Rogers, though, you got to win the race now. If you really want to do something, win the race. Dylan Young wants to run. This place is special to Dylan Young and Penske. We all know that for reasons.
Oh, they have never won here in the Cup Series. I don't believe they've won here in the Truck Series either. But Dylan Young, whatever he did to that car on that pit stop, he is flying away.
Looks like RJ Bishop really was a parachute because I don't see him anywhere either.
See everyone trying to get by Zoerlein as quickly as possible. Even the 13 of Jack Holton, who has damage, is faster than the 5. Which is staggering to see. Talked about parachutes. 22nd on back seem to be our damaged cars. There's the 21. Alexander Rowe, though, is the most off pace. About a 1.5 seconds. How about Audra Baranowskis up to 4th? Looking for what would be her 2nd top 5 of her rookie season.
Definitely trying to salvage something here as get a rookie winner. But it's tough in Indy to do, but it could be possible with the fuel window and whatnot.
It all depends. You know, we said the window was 16 to 18, but if there's a slim chance that it's 19 laps, you might be able to stretch it 20 on one of your runs, but it's going to be very difficult to do. We only went 7 laps there, too, on that run, Vince, so we haven't seen who the comers and goers are just yet. As we know, we usually see the more experienced drivers rise to the top as the run progresses. Zach Flickinger is going to put a move on Allison Rain for second place.
I think Ray's got that outside run, though. Especially in 3 and 4.
Flickinger is going to get checked up there. Baranowskis is just about to her outside, but Flickinger just bodied Allison Rain into turn 4. And that checked up the 10 big time. Now the 1 is going to push the 96 by. Flickinger will pull to the right. Audra will stay low, and she's going to go for second. And she's going to take it. All this battling, though, for second place is music to Dylan Young's ears. He's got a 0.8 of a second lead now.
Dylan Young, get to 2-3 seconds, because that's what you need. You know your long run pace has been shoddy at best this year.
See side by side here into turn 3. Rain on the inside of Flickinger. Oskin on the outside of Nate Rogers. See Andrew Rich 1 spot away from being in the top 10. Now Rich, out of all of them, between Nate, Seth, and himself, Rich needs to gain the most points. So he's right here in 11th. Seth Cole falling back a little bit. He's to the inside of Ace Rogers for 12th. Help from Kev Shearer and James Ellison. There you see Zoerlein behind Henry Sanford, and Zoerlein is in 17th place. So for the time being, that keeps Charles Sanford alive by a point. But that would be still very slim odds heading into Springfield to stay alive into Chicagoland. Would need Zoerlein to finish last at Springfield and have Charles win the race on that scenario. Very, very slim odds for that one. Rich by Kukulon for 10th. Now he's going to put a move on Fitzwater for 9th. In front of him, Yepes to the inside of Nate Rogers. Oskin to the inside of Allison Rain.
Rain had a bad adjustment on pit road. Definitely lost the front row speed we saw earlier in the race.
Quentin Moore is up to 4th. Flickinger still trailing Baranowskis as they are trying to close in on Dylan Young. Fastest lap of the race belongs to Allison Rain. Guessing that was from the first stint. Audra is P8 on that chart. Just not sure how much she'll be able to close before Flickinger gets a decent enough run to put a move on it for second. They are still closing the gap big time here, though. Down to half a second now, just tangoing it out.
Ooh, don't want to make a move.
Flickinger peeking the nose. They continue to push towards Dylan Young. They've been pulling away from Quentin Moore. Flickinger still glued to the bumper of the 1. He's going to push high here into turn 3. Audra trying to get her second Jerky Pro Truck Series title this year. Her points lead has dwindled in the past few races, but she still has a very strong shot. She's just got to get through Springfield next week, really, Vince, cleanly, and she'll have it locked up.
Easier said than done, though. We all know Springfield's wild card trucks. Now, the Cup, it's not as bad, but trucks,
It's basically a slidey super speedway.
Yep, exactly.
Flickinger tried to put a move in turn 2, but checked up. Audra gets a little bit of distance between herself and the 96. As you saw behind them, Oskin went by Quentin Moore for 4th. Nate Rogers is up to 6th. Rain still going backwards now. Down to 7th. Fitzwater still holding off Rich for 8th as Seth Cole has made his way into the top 10. Yepes down to 12th. And Zoerlein still lagging back here a little bit and there. Down to 18th now. I'm not sure if he'll fall much further here. Scott Roush looks like he's up to speed. And maybe Colt Hudson a little bit. Everybody else has some form of damage. I don't think Zoerlein would fall back further than maybe 20th here, Vince. Because there's also the inexperience factor going on here with like the 13, the 6, and the 93 compared to Zoerlein, who's got 17 Cup wins. You know, I think it's going to be hard for Zoerlein to fall any further down the running order.
Back at the front, though, this is looking really promising for Audra and Flickinger to catch Young.
Flickinger right back to the bumper of Audra once again now. With where the caution came out, lap 7 on to lap 6 on the lap 7. So they pit going on to 8. They're about 12 laps on this fuel tank. We should see them pit around 24 to 26, I want to say. Maybe a lap later, 25 to 27. But Audra's impressed me. I'm not sure if it's the draft or what, but she's going to try and send the move here on Dylan Young, but not close enough. Down to 0.2 of a second, though.
Tell you what, Oskin's coming, man. Penske is showing up. They know the captain is watching today.
Dylan Young, the staple driver for the team, has been in the 2 for 6 seasons. It took him a while to get the victory lane. But once he did, he started popping a couple wins off here and there. 2 wins on the season this year at Richmond and at Pukekohe. 6 wins for Dylan Young's career. And Dylan Young been hopped ahead by Nate Rogers. Fitzwater, they used to be close to him. Now they are 2 and 3 wins ahead on the chart. Audra with another move. Can't get there yet either, but you're right, Vince. That 22 is coming close.
Looks like Quinn and Moore and Rogers just don't have the pace as the front runners.
Looking at the chart here on the standings. See Rowe 23 seconds back. Eventually, we're going to get some lappers here. Yeah, Oskin is here now, but like you said, Vince, Quinton and Nate just not there. Flickinger is going to put a move on Audra here in turn 4. It's not going to work. Flickinger will check up. Can Oskin take the opportunity to make a move? He gets right up to Flickinger's bumper. And he thought about it, but can't quite get to the inside. Now that move by the 96 checked up the 1 almost 0.4 of a second. Meanwhile, near the back of the top 10, Kev Shearer has made it into the top 10 over Seth Cole, as Nate Rogers is glued to the bumper of Quinton Moore.
Fitzy making a move.
Fitzy going to make a move on Rain here in the turn 3. He's kind of even with her. Let's see in the turn 4 what he can do here. Kind of had it a little there on entry, but Rain gets the run off as Kev Shearer is going to pit. Lap 23. And somebody else came down ahead. I think that's the 37 of Onjak. Seen some damaged cars at the back pit. And Onjak already made his stop. So a little bit of strategy here. Maybe Vince, they know they got to pit early. Or maybe the window is a little less than what we thought. But they might be pitting early enough so that it's worth taking tires on that last pit stop.
Smart move. Let's see what Dylan Young does, though. He's the leader. He's got plenty of gap now, I think,
pitting.
to stay out.
Yep, he's pitting here. And
Oh,
it
yeah,
looks
here we
like
go.
everyone else is going to come in. This is going to stack them up. Nobody's even thinking about staying out here. So that's going to stack up everybody, especially Zoerlein. Anyone at the back here just got stacked up tremendously. You already saw Onjak pit. Contact there with Hudson. Oh, we want to watch and see. Is there going to be any more contact on pit road here? Ooh, Andrew Rich almost hit Fitzwater there. That would have been costly. Dylan Young out and away. Audra and Flickinger side by side behind them. Nate's going to come out just in front of Oskin and Quinton Moore. Terrible stop for Andrew Rich. Where'd he go? Oh, that's
Right back
terrible pit stop for the 23 team. See if we can find Kev Shearer. There he is.
Good move. Look at this move by Kev.
Kev's going to jump into the top 5 here. So he gets ahead of the 9 and the 89. Dylan Young is gone compared to the 1 and the 96. So now it's going to take some drafting to catch the 2. And with it being 24 to go here, Vince, I think that means that everybody will probably take 4 tires or at least 2 tires on their last pit stop, as they went 16 laps there. So it was more so 14 to 16 than 16 to 18. So that's going to put everyone pitting around 37 to 40. So I think if you pit later, you could afford a 2-tire pit stop. But you're probably going to want to be the first to pit, because fresh tires is the way to go. You saw how much time Kev Shearer gained. He's up to 4th now. He was back in 10th before the cycle began.
Yeah, that's I don't know. Can they have enough draft? I mean, that's the key. I think Dylan Young is pretty good. We know we have a lap car maybe, but we'll find out.
There's Alexander Rowe.
Oh, RJ.
RJ is the next one, but he is in turn 3 while the leaders are in turn 1. See that lap by. No time gained for Audra. Kev Shearer, though, is hauling the mail in the draft. Let's go through the running order here. Nate in 5th. Quinton Moore 6th. Oskin 7th. Ellison's up to 8th. A good pit stop for that 24 team. Rain in 9th. Fitzwater 10th. Seth Cole 11th. You see Andrew Rich really fell. Zoerlein in 18th. Man, I don't know what happened on this 23 team's pit stop, Vince, but they lost so much time. It's insane. Down to 23rd. I think that's going to wrap up their title chances unless a yellow comes out. They needed to be top 10 and ahead of Zoerlein by a couple positions, but if this stays green, they're done. It's going to come down to the 9 and the 07 now, but the 07 is not inside the top 10 currently. Right now, he would gain 7 points. That would put him 124 back, 7 points back of where he needs to be. As for Nate Rogers, Nate is by himself in 5th. 5th gets you 45 points. So I believe Nate would get into the range by a good chunk, but he would still be on very slim odds to be in contention after Springfield. He would need still kind of a miracle. Kev Shearer's made it by Zach Flickinger for 3rd. As they are starting to draft their way up towards Dylan Young. It looks like Rain's team might have found something back there on this pit stop, as she's gone by Quinton Moore and now is looking to get by James Ellison. So coming back to life a little bit is the 10.
Ray and Oskin could be a good pairing to try to work their way up.
And Nate Rogers is catching up to the lead pack as well. Nate almost half a second to the leader that lap by. Remember what we had happen at Auto Club, Vince? It was a strategy race, I believe, between Nate and Dylan Young, and it was the same thing at Homestead at the end of last year. Not as much of a strategy race here today, but interesting how these two always seem to be together in such a race.
Strategy is important, man. It's a key element, especially at the top of the box. You can see Kev, I think he just has the raw pace today, though. He definitely has it. Clean air.
Now, I'm kind of curious here. I'm not sure if Zach Flickinger's team made a bad adjustment or if they're just trying to stretch out the gas one extra lap, because they've really lagged back here compared to the 1 and the 00. as these two continue to draft their way towards Dylan Young. And now Oskin has fallen to 8th. Put him back up to 7th now as Ellison is stuck on the top side. Yeah, I think, Vince, if anybody, it's looking like Nate has the best chance of being in range of Zoerlein after today. Which is crazy to think because he wasn't even in our 2nd, 3rd, 4th place standings picture a couple of races ago. He's come to life tremendously after that Oswego win and then the win last week at Talladega. He has put his hat in the mix here at the end of the season. Even if by a long shot, his hat is there.
Yeah, just the summer, I think, killed him. If it wasn't for the summer stretch, I think he could be really fighting. But gotta give him credit during this fall stretch. He's putting it on. Pumpkin spice.
Peeking to the inside of Sack. Flickinger, no dice there in the turn 2. Will be 2/3 of the way through the race after this lap is completed. Audra still pushing towards Dylan Young, but I think Kev's tires are starting to go. He was slower than the one that time by, and you can see it in the turn 3 there, 2 miles an hour off the one car.
Dylan Young, though, he's just been commanding out front, man. You got to give him credit. He knows what he's doing around here, especially on one-lap pace. We've seen it in the past, but today he's got that long-run pace.
16 laps to go. That puts us in the window. See if anybody's crazy enough to pit with 15-14 to go here. Alexander Rowe is a straightaway away from being put a lap down. And I keep forgetting to mention, but with Zoerlein in 18th, that would still keep Sanford alive. But I believe Nate would jump him to 2nd in points unless this team has a bad last pit stop.
And when you make the move there, that might help. Not. Oh, it's under a second now. Kev is using that draft to conceal for those tires that are falling off.
I want to say Kev's been really benefited here by having draft this run. We mentioned, it's not as big as Cherokee Pro's draft was at this track in years past, but when you're on 1 lap older tires, whatever you lose in the turns, you gain back with the draft down the straightaway.
Move by Nate again, making the move. Got to get around Flickinger, otherwise they'll start running.
Well, I think that has really pushed the gap away now. Nate is even with Flickinger off of 4, but here comes Allison Rain now. And Nate's just making the move in the wrong corner. He's got to set himself up for turn 1 because all that time he had gained the last few laps just all went out the window from 2 moves into turn 4. And that's honestly going to probably take him out of a shot at this thing now. He needed to make the move in turn 4, or not. I'm not in turn 4, rather. Make it in turn 1. He's still right glued to the bumper of the 96 here.
Yeah, Rain will be there in no time now if he makes the move again.
He's going to make it into turn 3 here. I don't know if he can maybe get it finally.
Nope.
He's got a bit of an advantage, but I think it's going to go away here. Yep, there's the check. Yeah. Rain's there now. But does Rain go with Nate on the move here? I think she will. She's given draft to the 9. That's going to keep him side by side with Flickinger. So the 9 will finally get by Flickinger, but he lost 2 seconds out of it. And now Rain is there. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, Audra is there next to Dylan Young. And it could come down to just navigating this lap car, Vince. I don't think they're going to catch RJ Bishop. They might at the end of this thing, but Rowe is right here in front of them at the edge of the pit window.
Yeah, these guys came in about a lap later than some of the undercutters like Kev Shear, so that might be enhanced to 2. We'll see.
Remember, if you can stretch it 16 laps, Kev pit lap 23. He's at 14 laps right now. So Audra lost time going on the pit road. She has been able to get to Dylan Young's bumper, but just not make the pass.
Audra's definitely looking to find that mouse-rabbit connection there and trying to get some clean air, especially on the straights, a little bit lower in the corners, and get some forward drive. But Dylan Young is doing a good job blocking that. I think gained a little time.
Nate and Rain are clear, well ahead of Zach Flickinger, but I'm not sure if they're gaining any time here. Let's see, 3.87. About a tenth, but not as much as they had been earlier. Fall off is 2 seconds on this track.
Bro. I pit now if you're Dylan Young. I would do it, but I don't think you would.
It's a 10-mile-an-hour difference down the straightaway, but you see through the corner, they are even. What's it like here down the short straight? 176, 183. 10 laps to go this time by. Kev Shearer is continuing to stay out as Onjak makes his pit stop. Onjak was the first to pit last time. I think that means we could see Kev in next time. Dylan's going to get maybe checked up here by Rowe a tad, as that time by the top three really pulled from Nate and Rain, and Dylan Young gets checked up by Rowe in turn 2.
But get around here. That will help Nate and Rain just a little bit, but they lost time. I think it's really going to be how Audrey and Kev get by, and will Kev pit.
Rowe's turning. Rowe turned down the track. I think Rowe's pitting here. Audra's going to go to his outside. Dylan Young's going to stay out here. Audra stays out. Okay, Rowe was not pitting, but he gave Audra the preferred line there. That was kind of interesting to see. Kev Shearer, though, will make his pit stop. Now, with how close he got to Dylan Young on this run, Vince, because of the draft, dependent on the tire call here, that could make him the leader. Audra now is falling fast, though, without Kev's draft help.
It's going to be game over for Audra. Has to really make time up on pit road. It's not the strongest suit for her. 2 tires for somebody.
It's Laura Chung.
Oh, is that 2 for Kev? Is he going for the 2? 12's in. 28.
Have to wait and see here. It'll be 8 to go this time by, and Kev did take 2 tires.
2 tires will make it interesting.
Young and Audra pit. Rain got by Nate just before pit road. Kukulon and Ace Rogers will stay out. I think that's a smart call. They might gain some track position out of that. Everybody else will come in.
Could be 2 tires. Here's Andrew Red. She's just trying to do something different. Two tires for Audra. Let's see the seconds.
Oh, Seth Cole's got front end damage from something. Audra in and out. Oskin's going to be next to Dylan Young. That's going to hold up Dylan Young. Audra gets by him. The teammate coming into his stall cost Dylan Young the advantage.
Where's Kev, though?
There's the 0-0. I think Kev is going to be the leader here. But how does Audra make the draft work?
Rowe doing?
Rowe got a better exit on the pit merge there, but Dylan Young's got the straightaway power. Kukulon, Ace Rogers, Andrew Rich, the last drivers on the pit lane. That cost Dylan Young. We already knew he was probably going to lose a spot because of Kev's short pit there. Allison Rain is gone over Nate Rogers. She's looking to take position here on Zach Flickinger. This would be for 4th place. She will take it. Man, look at how much time Kukulon and Ace Rogers gained by their pit stop. They're going to be top 10 here.
The grass. Well,
Yeah, I saw Audra in the grass there too. These two are going to be right behind Nate. Ace might pull up in front of Nate.
that's the smart thing.
But Kukulon and Ace Rogers got into the top 10 because of this. How about Andrew Rich? He was able to gain back some track position, but his chances at a title, I think, are definitely over. Now everyone is chasing Kev Shearer, who is well out in front.
Kev's gone, man. I think he's got 4 seconds.
4-second lead over Baranowskis with 6 laps to go. I mean, it's going to take a miracle to catch this man. The strategy man here in the Cup Series lately, Vince, got the win at Texas earlier this year. And we remember how that went. It was an overcut strategy that got him the win. It's going to be the undercut here today if he holds on these last 5 laps.
Dylan Young can't believe his luck, man.
And I don't know if Audra has the pace to track him down on her own.
Oh, we got a lapper.
Even with the 2 pushing. See the difference this time by. They are losing time. Yeah, I could tell. I was looking at the 1 compared to the 00, and she was definitely slower. This race is over unless Kev Shearer has a mechanical problem.
Bean's closing, too.
Rain and Flickinger in the top 5. Nate's got a bumper full of Ace Rogers. Seth Cole inside the top 10. Zoerlein down to 19th. I believe Nate will gain enough points as long as he can stay in the top 10. Yeah, Kev Shearer pit a lap early, but he is dialed in compared to Audra. And Kev was a bit of an underdog here today, 12th on the fast lap chart. Was running in the top, just barely in the top 10 on that first stint after the caution. Did the undercut there, got into the top 5. Made some kind of adjustment, I'm guessing, too, that really let him stay in the draft despite having 1 lap older tires. And now the undercut, again, even on a 2-stop strategy, has allowed Kev to just pull away. 5-second lead.
Good.
5-second lead, and Dylan Young's been unable to do anything to get by Baranowskis as Allison Rain closes from 4th place. Top 5 appears to be set in stone. Nate Rogers and Ace Rogers, they are pulling away from Sebastian Kukulon. No, the 63 has 1 lap advantage with his right sides. He could be looking at putting a move on Nate here. That is a family member in front of him that is trying to still be in contention for the title. Ace might just stay behind him here and finish in 7th. 2 laps to go at the start-finish line. Oh, Alexander Rowe's going to be in the way. That time by, Audra and Dylan Young gained half a second. But it's too little too late.
Yeah, that's because RJ Bishop was playing games, probably.
Or they might just be in a 3-car train right here.
Well, there's the train gone.
Rain's going to put a move on Dylan Young for 3rd. And it looks like she's not quite clear. That's going to let Audra pull away.
White flag in the air, though.
Dylan Young will stay in 3rd. Flickinger trying to put a move on Rain for 4th. Can't get there. Rain with a run. Does she put a move on Dylan Young in turn 2? No, she doesn't. But up ahead, all eyes are on Kev Shearer. Like I said, at Texas, it was the overcut strategy that helped them get the win with a late race yellow. Today, it was all about the undercut. And for what'll be his 4th career win, it'll be his first multi-win season of his Cup career. Kev Shearer is gonna win at Indianapolis. Chevy's 5th win in 6 races at the track. And a Chevy 1-2 with the rookie Baranowskis in 2nd. Remember, Vince, in the 2nd Pukekohe race, Audra finished 2nd. So both of her top 5s have been 2nd place results. Just looking for that. Just looking for that little extra something to get her the W.
For rookie, though, that's impressive. And you know Audra will be definitely better next season, too.
Dylan Young dominated just to finish in 3rd. Rain 4th, Flickinger 5th, Nate 6th, Ace 7th, Kukulon 8th, Seth Cole 9th, James Ellison 10th. Fitzwater comes home 11th, Quinton Moore 13th. Oskin dropped to 16th. Andrew Rich 17th, Zoerlein 20th. That's going to keep Charles Sanford alive. I believe here, let me see if I can count points correctly. 23 points for Zoerlein. 42 for Nate. That would be a 19-point difference. That'll put Nate at 110 back, so he's got a chance, but he's going to need Zoerlein to wreck and have a bad day at Springfield and Chicagoland. So you look at the rest of your results. A lot of drivers involved in that big crash. That is going to do it for us today. We'll see you guys next week for slinging some dirt at Springfield as we finish the season last 2 weeks for both series in the state of Illinois. So we'll see you guys next week.
Sign off.